something called meridian therapy tapology, which can best be described as acupuncture without the needles. And to my right here, we have a lovely co-host. She's going to tell you who she is and what she does.
My name is Teray May. I am the why'd I look crooked? I am the owner and founder of Yoni Steam and Wellness, and I am your vaginal practitioner. I always took a picture of it.
Open it up.
So you can see it. He wrote an opening for me, y'all. So it's the sole proprietor, right, of Yoni Steam and Wellness. And I specialize in a number of vaginal rejuvenation services as well, which to include non-invasive vaginal tightening, full body Brazilian waxing, full body waxing, as well as I offer educational classes for vaginal practitioner services as well. So,
you good?
Yep.
Alrighty then. The whole goal of this is not to tell them I wrote it, so that you can perfect this. Oh, she has.
I need to be studying on my off time. I know where I'm slacking at.
Alrighty then. Now, keep in mind also that on July 23rd, that's a Saturday, July 20, is that 23?
Yeah, that's the 23rd.
I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses. July 23rd, we're going to be at the Verina Library, myself, Dr. Finney, and Teray May, and we're going to be there offering our different services and sciences. It's free 99, so come on out, bring somebody with you. Do not come alone. This kind of information you're probably not going to get from most practitioners and physicians. So please come out. It's going to be July 23rd. It's going to start at 11 a.m. We're going to have a great, great time and find out what's going to be available for you in your community, because God knows we need therapies. All right. Okay. So we're going to probably go through that again before the podcast is over so that we can remind you once again. All right. Well, this particular week we have a couple of other very interesting subject matters regarding the Yoni, and today's two subject matters that we're going to talk about today is deal breakers, or what would make you say no to sex, and then secondly we have the ingredients to bad sex. Now, a couple of podcasts ago we talked about the ingredients for good sex, okay, but now we're going to talk about the ingredients for bad sex, okay. So first and foremost, we're going to start out with what we call the deal breakers, because I believe deal breakers are very, very different from, you doing it and saying it was bad. All right. So deal breakers are things that would make you say no to sex. And I guess it's probably best to alternate, do you think? Or you going to do them all, then I do them all?
It doesn't matter. We could.
All right, ladies first. Freestyle. This is not rap.
We're going to freestyle.
Okay, so you go ahead first. And let's go with five or six. These are deal breakers that make you go, oh, hell no, I'm not about to partake in any kind of sexual energy with you, any kind of sensual expression with you.
It would be the hint of a lie.
The hint of a lie?
Yes.
Okay, please.
It could be, it just got to be the hint of a lie. And what I mean by that is, inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time, it's a deal breaker for me. The first time I see inconsistency in your patterns, it's a deal breaker.
Is it inconsistency or is it a lie?
It's both.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like they go hand in hand.
That's very interesting.
It's both. I feel like that because I don't know.
Well, you know what? I could, check me if I'm wrong, but don't most people lie?
They do.
So how do you get anything going on then if you're in the dating scene and most everybody lie and lies are a deal breaker for you? How do you get anything?
Because I now, not to say that I have never indulged after recently meeting someone, but for the most part, I'm a pretty patient person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I start seeing the inconsistencies over a period of time, it becomes a deal breaker for me.
Okay. My first one is bad dental situation. Now, I'm not talking about you need a cleaning. I'm not talking about, hey, you had some garlic earlier. I'm talking about you've got cavities that are eating away at your teeth. You've got summer teeth. You ever heard of summer teeth? Some over here, two on the bottom. I can If you got a situation going on like that, you can have the baddest body. You can have the best Yoni experience.
But they have a lot of these
What?
veneers.
You can't veneer cavities and missing teeth.
People are that's becoming pretty popular on the scene now.
Okay, well, not popular enough, because I see some people that don't even open them. They laugh like this. That's always a bad sign. And when they open their mouth.
Why? What does bad teeth say about someone?
It says a lot, because teeth are going to be something seen most of the time, because your face is the highlighted part of your body.
What does it say about that person?
It can say that you don't take care of yourself. It can say that. Or it can say you don't have the finances to take care of yourself. Or it can say, I don't care about what I look like. All right? And again, just because somebody has pearly whites don't mean they're the greatest individual or that I'm going to give them some. But if your teeth are effed up like that, it's not, like I said, it's not just the light for. I'm talking about this is a bad dental situation. I got to say, absolutely, that's a deal breaker for me.
Bad breath. I cannot.
Not bad breath, bad teeth. Because guess what?
Bad breath is a deal
bad teeth actually propagates.
If you got bad breath, I don't want you in my vagina.
Okay, but
definitely not your mouth.
Bad breath is propagated from bad teeth a lot of times. You see what I'm saying? So you're next. Go.
I would say to piggyback off that, bad hygiene.
You took one of mine, but we'll keep going.
Yeah, bad hygiene. And another thing, I don't know if this really resonates with any females, but like bad hands. Like I understand they say like men who have hands, working hands. I guess that's what they're called. But my dad was in the military. And I mean, he used to get, manicures and things of that nature. And he would always say, like, when you meet a man, the first thing they do is they extend their hands. So a man must keep his hands clean.
But men getting pedicures is a relatively new thing.
I'm
talking about for the common man,
So I don't know. And my dad, he's still very militant in his appearance. Like my dad still put creases in his dickies.
Okay.
My dad, he's ex-military,
so he's gonna have that
he
discipline.
Still has, So I grew up that way.
Very good.
So I'm not saying I want no feminine man. That's
no metrosexual.
I don't. That's not what I'm saying. But I do appreciate a man who do care about his hygiene. Now you got some fly stink niggas.
Fly stink.
Yeah, you got niggas who's fly, but they don't have the best body hygiene.
That's not good.
So to me, I'm not talking about just looking fly. I'm talking about smelling fly.
So if I got bad hygiene, that's a deal breaker for you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, very good. Now my second is diseases of any kind. STD,
how
STI,
you know that,
STV. What do you mean, how do you know?
How do you know if this person has a disease?
You're asking me how I know?
How do you know?
I have means to know, as you will.
Before you have sex with them?
Listen, you're going to get a blood test before you have sex with me. But you didn't know? Cut it out. Diseases of any kind, STDs, STIs, and STVs. Not just that. If you have congestive heart failure, if you have pulmonary disease, and they say, well, why are you being prejudiced to the sickly? No. Usually when people have these disease processes, they take pharmaceutical medications. And pharmaceutical medications are going to be secreted in your saliva, in your perspiration, in your tears, and especially in your Yoni juices. And that stuff tastes bitter. So my thing is, if I know that you have a plethora of different diseases going on and you're on 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 medications, it's no problem. It's not going to happen. It's all good. That's a deal breaker for me. Go.
Okay. I would say a man who was a deal breaker for me is inconsideracy.
Okay. Inconsiderate.
Inconsiderate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I feel like
that kind of goes with the lie, though, right?
Well, no, inconsiderate is different. When I say
not putting you first,
not being, not saying not putting me first, but
not considering you at all.
if you go into the gas station, if we go into the gas station, like, ask me what the fuck I want. You want anything from the store? Like, that's being considerate.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's not a lot.
And
you don't just pull up to the store, hop out.
You gonna do that too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't listen. I don't ask for anything. You know what I mean? That I feel like I can't get.
Well, there's a lot of sisters that do.
That's part of. I remember you saying on a previous show, you was like, nobody not gonna outdo me how I do me. So,
so that's you now.
So no, but what I'm saying is, we was expounding upon equality in that
yeah, you're not gonna outlove me.
Podcast.
I'll make sure that
and just being considerate, because I could be somewhere, I could be in the store, I could be in Dollar Tree, and I could remember you saying, you know what I mean, something like, oh damn, I need to get me a can opener. I could be in dollar store, see the can opener, and be like, oh damn, he did say he needed a can opener, and grab it, even though it's only $1.25 now.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's the consideration. Mad y'all lacking consideration.
All right, for me,
that's a deal breaker for me.
Another deal breaker for me is either mental or emotional instability. That'd be deranged. That'd be stalker. If you have on psychotropic medications, all that stuff right there, is that funny to you? Really? No. Because here's the deal. There's a myth out there, and it's actually a true myth.
I'm laughing because that usually, you don't use that. That's usually like a transition.
Let me tell you something.
That's usually like a transition.
There's a myth out there that women who are deranged, women who are emotionally impaired, they have good yoni. And for the most part, I found that to be somewhat true.
Let me tell you something. It's so crazy you say that, because I was just watching this. I promise you, I was just watching this other podcast, and they was they was like, what kind of niggas got good dick? For one, dark skinned niggas. That was one of the options.
I won't disagree.
2, broke niggas. Broke niggas be having good dick for some reason. So it's like, that was what they was talking about on the podcast last night in relations to the Yoni, and
crazy women got that good yoni.
I
don't want no mentally deranged. I don't want no emotionally impaired. I don't want no stalkers. All of that. If you show me any of that eye movement, like with that wide eye stuff, it is a deal breaker without question.
So are you saying if she's,
especially if she's on psychotropic drugs, no way. Another one for me is youth. Youth is a deal breaker. I don't want nothing under 25, and 25 is too young. I don't want anything close to you, because youth is unattractive to me. So a deal breaker is if you look youthful or too youthful, or you act youthful, or you're immature.
That's so crazy, because older men is like into younger women.
What are you calling me, an older man? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Okay, well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
I didn't say that.
All of my life, I have always been attracted to
you
the
said
older
younger
woman.
So I was just adding.
I've always been attracted
equation.
to older women. When I was 16, I dated 26. In my 40s, I dated something 66. So my thing is, I always loved the mature, older than myself. That has always been my thing. So somebody much younger or showing immaturity or being too youthful, that's a deal breaker for me.
What is being too youthful?
Silly, not grown silly, but childish silly. Immature, undecisive, wishy-washy. And this could be somebody 40 like that.
I was about to say that.
It could be somebody 45, 50. But if you have those youthful qualities, traits, and characteristics, it doesn't work for me. That's a deal breaker. Okay, you have another one? Because I have one more.
Go ahead.
Now, this one is a little different. Mugga-wuggas. I can't do mugga wuggers. What is a mugga wugger? The great comedian, what's his name? What's the guy's big guy, last name Love, comedian, was on Fridays, a big worm.
Oh my gosh.
What's his name? He calls them wombats, okay?
Oh my gosh.
I call them mugga wugger. They look like this, okay? Very, 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 very unattractive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the most handsome individual on the planet, but a mugga wugger.
Do you mean ugly chicks?
Yeah, but absolutely. And they can have the greatest bodies, maybe the best Yoni experience, but if they're looking like this, okay, it's a deal breaker because we're not going to do nothing with the lights off. Forget that. I got to see you. I want to look in your face. And if you looking like this, it's a deal breaker. And I know people say, that's elitist. No, it's not. It's my choice. That's my damn choice. Just like if a guy was a mugga wugger for you, you'd be like, he's a nice guy.
Well, I don't know what a mugga wugger
Booger wugger, booger bear, booger wolf.
I mean, what may not be attractive to me, maybe.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So we
somebody else's
treasure.
Yeah.
So that's deal breakers for us. Now we have to move into the ingredients of bad sex. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
My first ingredient to bad sex is talking too much.
During
I don't
sex?
want. I like talking.
Pillow talk.
But there must be a rational amount of talking.
Okay.
And like, it got to be what you're talking about too.
It's got to be realistic.
You know, and I don't know. I definitely like I'm a shit talker, but not to a point where it's like, cause I done had to tell somebody like, shut up.
I'm sure
shut up.
I'm sure that messed up the mood.
It did.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna go get some water, y'all.
Okay.
Can you get some water out the machine for me, please?
I think that I think that when it comes to talking, that's the way men program women while they're having sensual expression. You gotta believe me, baby. Because as we're talking in your ear and stroking, that usually takes whatever.
Because I might not say what you want me to say. We may be in the middle of it. You might be like, "Who pussy is this?" I'm gonna be like, "Mine."
Oh, well, that's not wrong.
Mine.
That's not wrong.
Half the time they want to hear you say is theirs, but you know, I'd be like, "Mine's."
That is a very interesting bad ingredient. That's interesting.
What?
That is interesting to know that that's a bad ingredient. Too much talk. Too much pillow talk. Well,
it's not too much. It's just too much.
Or inappropriate.
Yeah.
You just met them and they're saying, "I love you."
Oh yeah, that's
all. That's almost like crazy, ain't it? Now, my first one was one of your deal breakers. Bad hygiene. Okay. It should be a deal breaker, but a lot of times you don't know until you get off into it. You know what I'm saying? And for me,
what you mean for a female?
Absolutely. And I've over the years gotten wiser to know you need to visit a female's house before you allow her to come over your house. That is just my...
Before you allow her to come over your house?
I'm sorry, did I stutter? You need to go visit her home before she comes to your home. Let me tell you why.
Don't let niggas in your house.
No. Listen, you're dating. You all are getting together. Listen, I don't want to go over her house and see roaches or see mouse traps in the corner and all that, because she could bring one of the roaches into your house. If she put her purse down on the floor, one of the roaches with an egg come out, next thing you got an infestation, right? So no. I need to see how you live before I let you in my home. Otherwise, we got to go to what? A hotel, which is really kind of, you know.
So if you meet someone, you don't bring them back to your home until you've been to their house?
I try to. I want to know you got a house. I want to know that you have a home, that you have somewhere where you pay to live. Seriously, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. So with bad hygiene...
I've always been hesitant about bringing people to
and
home.
you should be. You should be very, very protective and very intelligent.
I'm very
but I'm assuming that if
because for me, I'm like, I need to go see what you live like.
Okay, that's fine too. But I'm assuming that if you're even considering bringing them to your home, we're dating, we're going out, you're getting to know each other. So ain't it somebody you picked up at the club? This is months or a couple of weeks of getting to know each other. So as it relates to bad hygiene, There's no excuse for one.
So what about if that was like the last thing that you did? You've been dating the person, you like them, they checked off everything on your list, and then you go to their home.
And it's bad? Oh, well, that could be a deal breaker. It can be a deal breaker. Listen, hair, breath, underarms, peri area, anal canal, feet, everything has to be right, okay? And I've got 7 levels of hygiene as it relates to Kai Harurama. You want to hear them? The first level is her essence. When you get her essence, it's like this. Ah, it's beautiful. The second is her scent. Nice. The third is her smell. Okay. The fourth is her odor. The fifth is her sting. Oh. The sixth is her stank. And then the seventh is her stank. You see how I shake my head? That's, oh, hell no.
I think 4, 5, 6, or 7 was the same thing.
No, because you can go from stink to stank and stank to stank, okay? And those 3 are unacceptable. I'll go as far as smell.
And stink. You go as far as it stink.
I go as far as odor, because you can have an odor. You might have been out in the yard all day, come in, you had your boots on. I get that. That's acceptable, okay? But bottom line is, if you know I'm coming, you know we're about to get together, okay? It's unacceptable that way. But bad hygiene, it is a bad ingredient to sensual expression, but it can be considered also a deal breaker depending upon the severity of it, if that makes sense to you. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't write no list down. I'm just kind of.
Shall I keep going in? Because I got a whole host of them.
And then I'll tune in. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your next one?
Next one is dry vagina. That is beyond hell. Dry vagina.
Well,
there's nothing that you can do with that. And some of you men out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like trying to get into some, remember Play-Doh?
And this is after you've used your mouth to wet it?
It can be either way. Dry, but you ever had Play-Doh? You remember Play-Doh, or are you too young? It was real sticky and like a.
I know what Play-Doh
okay,
is.
sometimes
Came in different colors.
Absolutely.
I'm not that darn young.
Okay, well sometimes that's the situation going on in the Yoni. Not good at all. Okay, whether she ain't had enough water, whether she's on medication, whether it's just her chemistry and makeup, that is an ingredient for really, really bad sensual expression. You want to comment?
Well, that's like I tell my clients all the time, that will come from your diet.
How about
it could come from medication if the individual was on medication.
Lack of water?
But typically she lacks a lot of water. There are a significant amount of queens that come through here, and I ask them all the time. I think I ask almost every single client that have came through my office, how's your water consumption? That's always like my number one question that I ask in any consultation.
Now, can the Yoni steam help the dryness?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a number of different medicinal herbs that support you. They're kidney tonics. And what I mean by that is if I put in herbs such as nettuce leaf. Nettuce leaf in your blend, in your Yoni blend, is a kidney tonic. The kidneys is responsible for hydrating the body, which means that it's good for keeping the Yoni wet.
Now, you mentioned consideration before, and I want to go consideration another. I'm going to just back up to this bad hygiene. Whenever I know I'm about to get with you, we're about to share our energies, I take a shower to get the dirt, bacteria, and germs off my body, and then I get in the tub. One after the other. I run the tub full of water first. I take my shower, scrub with the brush and all of that, head to toe, wash my hair or my head, and then I'm going to get in the tub and soak until that water turns to room temperature. I'm going to be...
Is that how you bathe?
What's that?
What you're describing.
What I'm saying is I take a shower first and then a bath if I'm going to go, because I'm working with all my crevices in between my toes, behind my knees. I want to make sure...
I'm just the opposite. I take baths and then showers.
Okay, but my thing is I'm being considerate to you, and I want the same consideration. I don't want you to taste soap. I don't want you to smell soap. I want you to taste and smell my essence. And most people, if they're clean, have a good essence. I ain't talking about perfume. I wouldn't spoil cologne. I wouldn't spray that on my body, maybe on my clothing. But I don't want you kissing me and tasting cologne. I take a lot of thought into that, and I would consider, if I'm taking a lot of thought in that consideration, I would hope the queen or the woman would do the same thing. And if not, that's just unacceptable. All right? The next, after dry vagina, not enough time. That's a bad recipe for me.
Yeah.
for
time is one of my love languages.
Mm-hmm. That
so
quickie stuff.
That's definitely
I do not like quickie.
A deal breaker for me.
And when I say enough time for everything.
Oh, I don't mind a quickie.
I mean, it has its place, but I don't like them. And my thing is, everything is gonna be, we're gonna jump right into it. We may want to talk first. We may want to have a drink of wine first. We might want to sit up and watch a movie first. I don't know, but whatever it is, I don't want to feel rushed, and I'm not going to rush you. And if we don't have time scheduled out, then let's wait till another time so we can take our time and express ourselves in a way that's acceptable to both people. Would you agree?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, you know, I mean, I don't mind quickies. So I have a different perspective on it. Mm-hmm. You know, I believe that if you're in a relationship with someone, you know, as long as she's not bleeding, like you should be, why you not at least getting a quickie in every day? Every day you might not don't want to have sex. Mm-hmm. You might not don't want to lay on the bed and be intimate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I feel like
I get that.
That, you know, is because, as we were saying before, sex is a very strong energy. And like, even when people expound upon morning sex, you'll hear a lot of people talk about morning sex. Mm-hmm. And how that's one of their favorite times to have sex. Mm-hmm. Because that morning exchange of energy is what's needed to get very powerful. That mm-hmm. that can be how you stimulate your day. Mm-hmm. That can be, you know, you walking up behind me while I'm brushing my teeth, mm-hmm. and it's a quickie. And I feel like if you know what I mean, if you whatever, if my husband just coming from work, and you know, if that's my husband, or if we're in the same home, you know, that's my significant other, I feel like you said, we should not in order, but I understand that everybody has mm-hmm. their sit. So have, you know, for you to come in and, you know, you just get finished working and I'm in the kitchen cooking and you just want to just slip up behind me, get you a quick nut, go upstairs, take a shower, and then we could chill, eat dinner, and do whatever we do for the rest of the night. Like, I'm okay with that. I feel like those are very important to a relationship.
And I think maybe I wasn't looking at it from both perspectives. You're married. I'm not. So a lot of times when you're not married, this exchange, okay, I'm going to come by, a quick come by is not necessarily what I might want. Now, if I'm in a house with my wife, it's a totally different vibe. So, yeah, that's why I say quickies can have their place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe I didn't explain from both perspectives, but I'm glad you brought that perspective
But when time, and when you are just meeting someone, mm-hmm. to look at it from your perspective.
Absolutely.
When you're just meeting someone and everybody's busy. Mm-hmm. Everybody is busy.
Allegedly.
Unless you sitting still. Allegedly, exactly. Unless you sitting still, everybody is busy. Mm-hmm. And to be able to be in a space where it's like you're sharing that time with someone.
Unrushed.
It's very intimate.
It should
so
be.
Time is very important.
So we get each other's point.
So yeah, absolutely. Good. But if we're just meeting and you're telling me that you're always busy or that you don't have time, mm-hmm. well then that's
bad ingredients.
Yeah, that's a bad ingredient for me.
I got another one. Bad environment. Let's go back to the house. If I come in and bugs are on the wall and I see mice traps in the corner, I go in your room, stuff all over the brick bed. Now, we've been talking this for a week. I'm going to come by next. Okay, we got this scheduled. And you got to get stuff off the bed and, you know, crumbs and all that kind of stuff. That environment. Or you got animals. Okay, you got animal excrement on. Oh, I got to get that up. Really? That's hard. That ain't even soft. So what's going on with that? That's been there. You're doing that for me. Okay? Or you got smears in the car. That kind of stuff for me. I know that sounds bougie. That might even sound that might even sound like, okay, good doc, you're going too far.
Your home should definitely, cleanliness is next to godliness.
And it's like you said with the teeth, it says a lot about you.
Be conscious, you know. But the thing is too is that, like people may say, or I've heard people say, you know, oh, if you keep a junky car, that shows the way you live.
It
you know what I mean? However, mm-hmm. you know, my house is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna. My house is, I have OCD when it comes to my home.
Good.
But my car,
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, you can tell that I have kids.
I mean, even if you're busy, though, even if you're busy, as long as your bathroom and your kitchen are immaculate.
So I wouldn't want someone to really judge me on my environment as far as my vehicle.
Well, I'm going to do that because my thing is, all of it says something about you. You can have a clean car, a clean house, and a really dirty body. Or you can have a clean body and your house and car may not be clean. All of it can be dirty or all of it can be clean. It can say something about the individual. Sometimes it may not. It may not. But my thing is, for me, I don't know, I'm just sensitive to that kind of stuff. And if the house environment or where we are isn't something that's conducive,
now,
I'm like, oh.
when I hear environment, I hear...
Or atmosphere.
I hear, person, place, and thing.
Okay.
And I hear, some people, they can have the clean house, they can have the clean car, but their environment, it could be...
chaotic.
Yes. Their space can be, whether it's a family member, that lives with them,
That too.
Whether it's, their even their place of employment is stressing them out. Because I know one of my friends, and I had to check him too, because every time I talked to him, he was having trouble. Like, he was complaining every time. So, and he drove trucks, right? Contractor, he wasn't hired by anyone. He has his own contracts. If your environment is having this much of an impact on you, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Do something else. Because I don't always want to be in a space with you where you're fucking complaining. So it's like, I feel like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if your environment is not conducive to your growth and development, I don't want to fucking be around that either.
That's good, because it segues into my next one, which is a foul mood. A foul mood is a bad ingredient for bad sex. And I'm like, okay, I come over, you're somber. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. No, what's wrong? Well, my uncle passed away. Oh, baby, I can come back. No, come on in. You sure? I mean, we can do this another time. No. And then y'all get to going, and she crying. Oh, is it that good, baby? No, I'm just thinking about my uncle. Oh, hell no. Get up. Come on now. I told you we can do this at another time. So foul mood, whether it's the job, whether it's somebody passing away, whether it's you pissed off at me, the mood has to be conducive to us sharing some information or sharing some sensual expression. If you're angry at me, that's not going to be conducive unless you're angry at me and you love me. And that's rare when somebody's going to be angry at you and love you enough to say, I'm mad at you, but I want to give you this good loving because I love you. If I find that, anyway, the next one. Someone who's unfocused. They with you, but I gotta do this tomorrow. I gotta run around. We here? Yeah. Or they're not energetic. They're there. Listen, we can always postpone. No. Come on, let's do it. Let's get this over with. Oh, hell no. Really? Let's get it over with? So these are wonderful bad ingredients or ingredients for bad sex. Let me give you
I have to agree. And that's like to go back to the point where someone has a toxic environment, and that's another thing. Like, I understand that people have really leaned on this. They have depression and they have anxiety, and I understand. I don't want to minimize the fact that these people consume these emotions. However, I feel like people they lean on it too much. You know what I mean? So they manipulate it. So some people every day. I mean, I myself just came out of a space where I felt like I was very withdrawn. You know what I mean? For a very long time. But I won't get to a space where I feel like it inhibits me.
Well, see, that goes back to my third one for deal breakers.
That's a deal breaker for me.
Mentally
That's
unstable.
a deal breaker for me. I understand you consume these emotions. Things happen. We get anxiety. We get depressed. We get withdrawn.
But when you
always there, when you always there, no.
And then you're gonna
That's
try to
a
do
deal
it with
breaker
me?
for me. That's a deal breaker for
So
me
I can't come to you, or your husband can't come to you and say I'm depressed. Let's do it.
That's. Oh, I'm gonna give him some depression pussy. Whatever he want, he can have.
Depression pussy.
Whatever he want, he can have.
Depression pussy.
Yes, whatever he could come to me and be like, okay. You know what I mean, whatever kind of thing he had.
I gotta write that down. Depression pussy. Okay.
He can have whatever he want, whenever he want. However, we ain't gonna be doing no depression pussy every day.
I see. I got you. Okay. I got you.
We gonna have to change the recipe a little bit. Like
another one for me is something called, this is a huge one, is bad chemistry. And now that's an ambiguous term, bad chemistry. And bad chemistry can go in a lot of different directions. But bad chemistry for me is going to be, okay, are we both here for the same thing? You got fucking, having sex, making love, and sensual expression. If you want to fuck and I want to have sensual expression, that chemistry is not there. If I want to fuck and you want to make love, that chemistry is possibly, we kind of have to be on a similar accord of sorts so we can have some real chemistry, because otherwise you're trying to shoot a layup and I'm trying to dunk. You see what I'm saying? So bad chemistry is one of the big ones, a big bad ingredient for bad sex. All right? Another one. This is a big one. Guilt or conviction. Guilt or conviction. Listen, if you're feeling guilty about what you're doing, or you feeling convicted by what you're about to do, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's going to make...
Someone will feel guilty for giving you pussy?
Well, let's give a scenario. They have a boyfriend, all right? But he ain't been around for a while. He's been out of town for 3 weeks. And I like you, I want to do this, but we're not going to do this. Go ahead and just get your, if it's guilt involved, that's okay. We ain't got to do nothing. If it's conviction involved, you know what I'm saying? Or you might have a girlfriend. She wants you. She got guilt and conviction. She putting on you. Wait a minute. If I'm not complaining, why are you complaining? She ain't complaining because she don't know about you. So what's up with that? You ain't got to have no guilt and conviction for me. We either going to do this or we're not, right? But I don't want you to be afterwards, oh, you know what? I don't think I should have done that. I just don't feel and all that old bullshit. I can't. That's a recipe for really, really bad ingredients for bad sex. Okay? Here's one for you. No appreciation. Now, this is a huge one, men, because there are very few women, in my estimation, this is my opinion, this is coming from Kaiharu Rama, there are very few women who appreciate your sensual expression. Now, I know I'm saying it from my side, she'd probably tell you something different, but very few women are going to appreciate the emotion, the affection,
I was just
the
having
intimacy,
this conversation,
the passion that you're going to put forth. They're either going to say, that's what you're supposed to do, or, you know, it is what it is.
I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. And he was like, you know, men, and he was very sincere about it. He was like, you know, we got emotions too, right? Like, men got emotions too.
Absolutely.
Even though it don't seem like it meant. And I really looked at him like I could tell he was really serious about it. And
why you look at him like that,
because it's very rare that you will find a man that admits that he's emotionally...
Are you serious?
Yes, that he's
the penitentiaries
emotionally...
are full of them. The penitentiaries are full of them.
Attached to the situation. Most men will just detach and you'll think that the nigga never had feelings.
I think men are more emotional than women.
And so on some levels. Especially
but
these ones now.
It's the look that you gave him when he showed his emotion. That's why we don't show it, because you looked at him like he was less than a man.
No, I did not.
Did
that
you
was
see
not the look.
Did you see the look? She looked like he was emotional. I'm looking at her like
that was a look of surprise.
Why?
Because it wasn't the fact that he was emotional. It was the fact that he was admitting that he was emotional. And I was very surprised by that because, again, and I know that I just said this, that most men do not admit that they are emotionally attached to the situation. Most men, or some men, would just withdraw, and they won't, even though when they feelings are hurt, you know what I mean, they don't come tell you, be like, yo, shorty, you hurt my feelings. A lot of times they don't have that.
What good is it gonna do? The way you looked at him, I'm pissed off.
Because you're only listening. You're not hearing me. That's why. Because I looked at him. Mm-hmm. My look, no matter what you may assume. See, that's the miscommunication between most men and women.
I assume.
It's almost like being dyslexic. You hear,
no,
but then you don't.
I'm now dyslexic and can't hear.
No, but then you don't hear.
I just didn't agree. That's the difference. I just didn't
agree. But I'm telling you what my look means. You can't disagree with the fact that I am explaining what my look meant.
That's real cute. That's pimp style right there.
My look.
That's pimp style. Listen, don't look at my look.
My look was a look of surprise, not a look of disgust.
That's that pimp move there, though.
Sorry. Damn, it just cut off the live.
No.
I did not mean to do that. See,
no.
I didn't put this phone on Do Not Disturb. That's what it was. Hold on a second. Hello?
All right on the air.
Peace.
Let me tell you something. Men, we understand that we're equally as emotional or more emotional than women are, by all means.
All right.
And I definitely understand why it is that a lot of men don't want to unveil that, because you may get the look. And the look can be a lot of things. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the look. And the look is, hey, why are you're being too emotional? You're being too sensitive, okay? And the bottom line is, we all have emotions. Every one of us, all right? Some are more sensitive than others, all right? And what I'm finding in this day and age, men are way more emotional than women are. Penitentiaries are full of emotional men who make emotional, irrational decisions, okay? Women may be more extreme in the display of their emotions, but men are probably far more emotional, okay? And I understand your look and you explaining that, and I appreciate that. I really do. But my thing is, irrespective of what you expect.
I like a man who has emotion.
Oh, that's real.
Contrary.
That's real.
To what the look may mean.
Okay. Now that's better, because you can't deny what I saw. You can say what you felt, but
contrary to how you feel the look.
That's better. I feel better about it.
I like a man who is able to articulate his emotions and how he's feeling.
Well, getting back to the non-appreciation, I don't think that most women appreciate your expression towards them, your passion towards them, your affection and intimacy towards them. It goes unappreciated by and large. I think men appreciate it more from women than women appreciate it from men.
Have you ever had a bad sex experience?
I try not to have sex, but you mean a bad sensual expression experience?
Whatever.
Unfortunately, I have. Yes.
Explain.
How bad it was?
What happened? Because we're talking about the recipes for bad sex.
Well, she was very... She was very...
I want to hear your recipe, and then I will share my recipe that I had for bad sex.
Okay. She was very, very beautiful. I liked her very much. We got to know each other we percolated that relationship. I mean, she was absolutely stunning, okay? But when it came time for that, some weird things happened. I'm a foot guy. I love feet. I have a foot fetish, okay? I'm unapologetic for that. So I said, baby, take off your shoes. Oh, no. I said, what's wrong? I don't let anybody see my feet. I said, you're kidding, right? No. I said, well, can I see them? So she took her shoes off eventually in the socks, but she sat on her feet. And she put her feet up under, like, where she was sitting. I'm like, you got nice feet. I said, well, I know you don't like feet, but I do. Can I touch? No, you can't touch them. I said, can't touch your feet? I don't even touch them. I said, well, how do you wash your feet if you don't touch them? She said, I let the water get on my brush. I do not like feet. So I'm like, that's bizarre. And I'm a foot guy. Then I was getting ready to go down. Couldn't go down. I said, what's wrong now? Can't do that. I can't do that. So I'm limited to my expression. I can't do feet. I can't go down, lick the Yoni. So now it's like, okay, what is this? I like kissing, but she smoked. So that nicotine was on her tongue and in her mouth. So I'm like, I can't kiss. Can't do anything with feet. Can't lick the Yoni. This is bad. This is really bad. And she was nice and petite and dark, all like I like. So I said, well, come on, let's. And I'm like, hard as Chinese arithmetic or Chinese algebra, all right? And she gets on top and she doesn't go down. She doesn't go down. I'm like, okay.
Is that a deal breaker? Not sucking your dick?
No. Not go down on me. She was on top of me, okay? Like straddling me. But she couldn't go down.
Okay.
I mean, there was no wetness whatsoever. So she tried to do nothing happened. I mean, dry, dead, uneventful. And I liked her a lot. I really did like her. And after about a half hour fumbling around, I had to mark that as the worst sexual experience ever had. And we stayed good friends. Tried it once more just to make sure it wasn't an anomaly. It was twice as bad that time. How can you get twice as bad out of that, right? So, loved her until she passed away a number of years ago. My girl, 100%. We used to go to the movies, go out to dinner. But that aspect, it wasn't there. And I can mark that as the worst experience I ever had. But here's the wonderful part about it. It was just the sexual side. Otherwise, she was 1,000% on point. Loved the lady until she left the planet. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it doesn't always it can be a bad sexual experience, or you can have ingredients for bad sex, but that's why you have to be multifaceted in your relationship or when you're dealing with people. And
as far as me, I would have to say my worst sexual experience was, I had went out with a guy a number of times, and I mean,
this sounds
I was really like anticipating like good sex. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you could look at somebody and you just in your head you just feel like they good at sex. And so that was the
premise,
the image, that I had in my head. Because we would go out and just even the way like the couple of times that we went out, for me, I'm very into old chivalry. So holding my doors and stuff like that. So, he holding my doors. I would, walking past him, he would, brush my ass, do all the shit that I like doing. And for me, the reason why I really thought the sex was going to be good was because of these little intimate touches. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I like things like that, and especially during sex. Mm-hmm. So in my head, every time he gave me these little touches or things like that, I'm like, oh, I'm basically in my head amping myself up for good sex, right? And he got nervous. Like when we finally were in that space, he was very nervous. And the reason why I think I don't know, he told me that he was not prepared for us to have sex because we had been out on a number of occasions, right? We had been out on a number of occasions, and I never would be like, oh yeah, okay, so at the end of the night we're gonna go back to my crib, we're gonna do this. So it was never him plotting in his head that he was gonna get some pussy. I don't want to let you know that I'm gonna give you the pussy. I want to do it. So so when it happened, it was very spontaneous. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's how I wanted it to be. I just wanted to just surprise him with the pussy. And so that didn't work out in my favor because he was very nervous and very unprepared. But then again, I'm like, I thought men's penis just get hard. I didn't know that they have to get prepared.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so
kind of mess. See how she do? We ain't machines. We not just a piece of meat.
And I thought, you know what I mean? And we were out, we were having a great time, and we were in a car and everything. And it was like, I sucked his dick. It wouldn't get hard. And
that's bad.
And then I was trying to, you know, I did ride it, tried to, you know, sit on it to get it hard. It still wouldn't get hard.
Wouldn't, okay.
And the only thing he kept doing was he kept apologizing. He was just like, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. Like, I'm kind of a little bit nervous. Like, I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? And
that's why I said that you're intimidated.
For me, I don't know if I did. I just thought, based on what I asked him, because I communicated that, like, what's wrong, like, what's up, and he was just like, I'm unprepared. I'm a little nervous. You know what I mean?
So
did
he get a second chance?
No, he didn't.
Wow, that's messed.
He didn't.
That's messed.
And I don't want to. It was because I don't know. For me, that's one time of, like, especially the first time. Yeah, like, if I know you could. You know what I mean? And then we happen to not have a moment, and it's not that. I'm okay with knowing that we still have good intimacy or good exchange.
So for you
but for me, it was the first time.
You only get one time to make a first impression.
That very first time for me was like enough to make me. And then it was like, and then I found myself starting to fall back, like. You know, would be like days where I went and talked to him, or, you know, a couple of days, and then he finally got the hint, like, damn, you know what I mean? Yeah, so he probably falling back from me, which I was.
I thought you intimidated him. It sounded like immediately he was intimidated, because all men aren't confident and what you call go-getters. Some men lay back. Some men are passive. Some men are docile. Everybody's not that outspoken, you know, let me go at it. And maybe that's what took place. You know what that goes back to? That's not good chemistry, because you are on one level and he's somewhere else, and neither one of you are wrong. Neither one of you are wrong. Okay? My last one, and this is a big one, no pun intended, large Yoni. Large Yoni. Ooh, that is...
Do you mean her hole, or the labia lips hanging? Or
No. Her hole. Okay? Once or twice in my life, it has come up. Now, don't get me wrong.
You can call me for non-invasive vaginal tightening.
Well, she needs 2, 3, 4.
It's a session in which
she
supports you in
She needs 2, 3, 4 sessions. And it's not her fault, because some women are just, that's their, maybe you can't do anything.
That is their genetic makeup.
That's just their genetic makeup. And
sometimes it comes from children.
She didn't have any. But my thing is, she was a nice, she was like a WNBA style woman. Okay? So maybe we just weren't compatible. But my thing is, that is some of the worst, because once you fall in, okay, and it's like, oh, you know right away, and then she get the, you in? You know what I do?
But what about if you're just small compared to her?
It could have been. It could very well have been. She could very well have been that, but it also could be she's just big, and there's nothing. Neither one of us are wrong. Maybe anatomically.
What do it feel like to fall into a vagina? Do you mean you just don't feel nothing?
It's like going inside of a bucket.
You don't feel...
You just make love to a bucket. You don't touch no sides.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like, And you in? No, I'm not. Just withdraw and go home. No, I decided to change my mind. But yeah. That's of my 10. That's 10 ingredients to very, very, very bad sensual expression, bad sex, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, everybody has their different listing. Women are going to be different from men, but I think we pulled out some really, really good ones, because I know most people probably thought, oh, they're going to give actual ingredients to something sexual. No, sometimes it's before you get to the sex. You know, it could be something just before you start. It could be something during, you know, and men.
But if you do want ingredients, actual ingredients, like fucking licking. Stop licking. Licking, don't do that. That's the ingredient for bad sex.
For you.
A little bit more sucking.
Because there's a lot of women who say, you know what, that's exactly licking. What I want. So everybody.
That's a bad ingredient.
Okay.
For me. To be more on, like you said, actual ingredients. Like the salt, the pepper, the garlic, the onion powder.
And a lot of this stuff should and could be worked out prior to you getting in anybody's bedroom. That's why I always say we got to talk. We got to talk. There's layers to getting with myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using myself as an example. There are layers. We can't just get together and do nothing. We got to talk. This is going to be over some periods of time, several meetings. So when this happens, it's going down because it's supposed to and it's right. It ain't going to be no I meet you and 2 days later, boom, there it is. It's not going to happen. I don't know your blood type. I don't know what you about. I don't know what you eat. I don't know what you diseased with.
And then you go through all of that and then you fall in her.
Do what?
Then you fall in her. All that. You don't wasted all that time.
Well, no, that would
going through a damn checklist.
Absolutely, and it's going
to be
it's going to be that same checklist, and that's only happened to me once or twice over all of the years that I've been active, and it's because if you're 6'3", and you got them wide hips, and you're looking like Lisa Leslie or something like that, she wearing a size 13 shoe, I would anticipate sometimes. Now that's not all the time the case, because sometimes those larger women can be small in the Yoni, and sometimes these little skinny little women. Hey, you better have something holding on to when you get in there because you'll fall in. So it's not just the necessarily the physical makeup, but either case, it's a recipe for really, really bad sex. So with 5 minutes left, we hope that you were at least entertained by this great listing of deal breakers as well as ingredients to what we call bad sex. And we're going to come back next week with some other great topics of discussion. And before we get away, we want to remind you that on July 23rd, that we are going to be at the Verina Library, myself, the amazing Dr. Finney, and the amazing Teray May. We're going to be offering our services and sciences that we provide. It's going to be free $99, so you don't have to worry about paying one dime.
It's going to be a great informational session at the Verina Library. We're going to be there live. I know you guys are used to seeing us, over live camera, but we're actually going to be there in the physical where you can actually interact with us, ask us questions. You're going to get plenty of educational information about what we all do as far as
our sciences,
our practices
and services
and what we do and how it can definitely benefit you. So come out
and we look to see you
get the
there.
Information. If not anything, come out and get the information. June 23rd at the Verina Library.
At 11.
Time it starts?
It starts at 11.
At 11 a.m.
11 a.m. So please, please, please don't come by yourself. Never ever come by yourself. Okay, bring your niece, bring your sister, because this is information that, by and large, our community, we don't receive this
Black
kind of
people,
information.
you mean?
And we don't get these kind of sciences, all right? So take advantage. It's going to be free $99, free to come, and all the information is free. And anything we do...
You have to say free. When you say free $99, it makes it seem like
it's
there's still a fee behind it.
Wow. It's absolutely, positively free. So come and let's learn and laugh and live together. And if there's nothing else, we're going to see you next week. And bless your hearts and all your parts.
Peace.
Get this one. I still got my smile.